President William Ruto is not yet done with finishing ODM. He is not yet done with dividing ODM and making sure its strength has been reduced to almost zero. Now he has decided to send John Mbadi, his cabinet secretary treasury, to finish off whatever he had started. And this was evident from what happened in Mombasa's retreat, a meeting that was said that was funded by William Ruto, and here the big secret was revealed by John Mbadi. So before we dwell further in whatever he talked about in Mombasa, I want to lead you through this video. Roll the tape.
How many secretary generals have announced that they have left the party and they have come back? A secretary general who has stood and said that he cannot work with the party leader should look for another secretary general. And then you sit here and pretend that we will bring those people. Bringing them to where? My friends, me, I don't sit in parties where people pretend. You cannot bring them back. When someone takes a microphone and says that he is acting party leader, that is not a person who will come back to the mainstream party. You are pretending, you are lying to yourself. Let us see how we can help the mainstream ODM solidify across the country.
Now, there are some of the ideas I want to take you through, and this is what maybe was discussed by John Embadi, William Ruto, and some of his bloggers, and I'll show you how this happened. Now, John Mbadi emerged in a Mombasa retreat and he spoke so many things. Number one, he talked about Linda Mwananchi, and he said that for ODM to be strong, those Linda Mwananchi rebels should never be condoned. They should never be brought back to the streamline ODM. Remember, Simba Arati, the Kisii governor, had said that he was ready to even cede his position as the deputy party leader in as much as the Linda Mwananchi leaders come so that they can form a strong party, because they realized they have lost ground, though they realized very late when Linda Mwananchi has gained traction and it is loved by everyone in our country, Kenya. Now, Mbadi said that Edwin Sifuna at once called the ODM party leader Oburu Odinga as mediocre, and even declared that he can never be the Secretary General of Oburu Odinga. And then questioned the idea of bringing Sifuna back as the Secretary General, and rubbished it, saying that there is no Secretary General of any party in this world who has said such words, derogatory words, and also was allowed to come back to the party. So he was stamping authority given by William Ruto that Sifuna should never step his foot in ODM. He equally pointed out to the Siaya governor James Orengo, said that even James Orengo in fact declared himself as the acting party leader, yet ODM had ratified Oburu Odinga as the official party leader. And then questioned, who does that? And then is begged to come back to the party. So he said that for ODM to be strong, they should kick out all those rebels and remain with a few individuals, but who are able and are ready to strengthen ODM party and make it solid towards 2027 election. This is not about making the party strong, but is about making sure whatever William Ruto wants is achieved. And then he talked about ODM not being of one community. We understand since the time Raila Odinga was alive, ODM has been, it was masquerading as a national party, but deep down it was anchored in pure Luo, community party, because even the leaders, you could sense that most of them came from Luo community. So in as much as Raila Odinga was loved countrywide and also presented ODM as a national party, deep down everyone knew that it was a Luo party, because even the leaders themselves, the people around him, they were all Luos. Now, John Mbadi wants to present ODM now as being a national party and not a low party as we used to know it. Right now, why didn't he raise this issue when Raila Odinga was alive? And right now he's saying that, oh, Raila Odinga, was loved from the Northeastern. In fact, he mentioned something to do with the Northeastern and emphasized something on Northeastern, saying that it has two governors, ODM governors. ODM is loved there. And finally, I'll let you know why Mbadi emphasized so much on Northeastern, and I'll bring another blog of William Ruto who is emphasizing the same, and that means it was something that was discussed on a table with William Ruto, and here Mbadi was executing the responsibility that was awarded or rather accorded to him by William Ruto.
This party does not belong to one community, as my colleagues have said. This party, Raila, has been supported by people across the country. In fact, it is not even the 4 regions. Raila has been supported by Turkanas. Turkanas have been very much solid behind ODM. Northeastern have been supporting ODM. We have 2 governors today from Northeastern province in ODM, out of 3. This is a national party. ODM does not belong to the Luo community. It does not belong to one community. In fact, ODM does not belong to Siaya.
And then finally, not even finally, he talked about Ruth Odinga, Raila Odinga's sister, and said that Ruth Odinga, I can say that he was meaning, or rather he meant Ruth Odinga because she was the only one in that retreat from Odinga family. And then Mbadi was mentioning that there is a sister of Raila Odinga who thinks that she's everything because she was a sister to the late Raila Odinga. She wants to call shots, she wants to make decisions, and said that ODM is not about Odinga, and the faster she understands that, the better. So she was, or rather, John Mbadi was attacking Ruth Odinga simply because Ruth Odinga is sitting on the fence. She doesn't declare whether she is Linda Ground or Linda Mwananchi. And from the Kisumu rally by the Linda Mwananchi, she said that she could make a decision. So perhaps William Ruto and his battalion, and also the broad-based, they believe that Ruth Odinga is headed Sifuna way. And that is why John Mbadi is attacking Ruth Odinga vehemently, saying that ODM does not belong to Odinga family.
We have a party where someone, because she is sister of a party leader, she thinks she can also order us around. You
and
cannot.
Also, finally, I'll tell you why there is so much resemblance, and the way the message of John Mbadi was anchored is directly congruent to what the ODM bloggers are equally saying right now. And then to make matters more worse, I don't know whether there's some English like that, but to make matters worse, he criticized Raila Odinga's death. Who does that? John Mbadi was a close friend to Raila Odinga, but when he stands and says that Raila Odinga is dead, is not here, so we should journey our way forward and leave alone Raila Odinga, that thing alone shows the kind of contempt John Mbadi has for Raila Odinga. In fact, he said that Raila Odinga did not make him. He equally contributed to making Raila Odinga. So in simple terms, he was referring to the Linda Mwananchi and Ruth Odinga. Ruth Odinga has been saying that she wants to be in ODM, yeah? Not about Linda Ground, Linda Mwananchi. She wants to be in ODM that was left by Raila Odinga. She wants to continue with the legacy of Raila Odinga. So by what Mbadi said, is like they are watering down whatever legacy Raila Odinga made, and those people are clinging to power by invoking the name of Raila Odinga.
We have supported this party. I know Baba has been a very solid leader. We must now manage the transition. Baba is no more. This is post-Raila era. We must be candid, we must be forthright, and we must chart our way forward. You cannot keep us Back, Baba said this. Baba did not say this. Where is that Baba now to give us the evidence whether he said or he did not say? He's not there anymore. It's 6 months.
Yeah, this one is uncalled for. But again, I want to bring into your attention what the Declaration MCA Robert Alai have been saying. You know, the Declaration member of County Assembly is William Ruto's blogger. She says everything that William Ruto wants him to say. And I'll read you through whatever he has been saying. And I'll read what he posted on 8th of May. Robert Alai said, ODM has grown institutionally to the point that it should not, or that it should have a single deputy party leader. So the next party leader should come from the Luhya, or rather the next party leader should come from the Luhya community. The chairman of the party should now be from Northeast. And having all these ethnic heads as the deputy party leaders would, without authority and prestige, is destroying ODM. ODM must operate like unstable DRC, or rather must not operate like unstable DRC when it had 4 vice presidents. We must have individuals who have grown in the party, cadres, assume senior roles. We have many street conmen in top ODM leadership, and is what is destabilizing, or rather destabilizing the party. And then he went further saying, wacha niseme, ODM must urgently start the process of looking for a standing party leader to replace Dr. Buru Odinga whenever he is, whether he had not been able to personally lead party activities. The top ODM leadership will kill Dr. Buru by demanding that he fly in choppers all the time, affecting his well-being and even not leave his age. Now, a new party leader must be groomed now, or we follow the party and find a new vehicle. Now, I had earlier told you that there is a point where John Mbadi was emphasizing so much about Northeastern leadership. And here, Robert Alai, Ruto's blogger, is also saying the same thing, that the party leadership should be given to someone from the Northeastern. And that tells you something, that the two, there is a lot, and there is a lot of resemblance in whatever Robert Alai was saying, and also what John Mbadi said in Mombasa. Number 2, Robert Alai started saying that Oburu Oginga is not fit to lead that party, that someone should be groomed, and that someone, believe me or not, is John Mbadi himself. William Ruto has ordered John Mbadi to go back to the ODM leadership, and this was echoed by Karoli Omondi recently in an interview at Spice FM. He said that among the things that were discussed in Mombasa is some of the cabinet secretaries ceding their positions to come back to fight for the leadership of the party. It is because William Ruto wants to tentatively place John Mbadi there, so that with the time he will be the party leader of ODM. So you see, these two messages from Robert Alai and John Mbadi, they are same. It's one and the same. That tells you that whatever John Mbadi was saying is something that was said by, is something that was given as let me say, as an instruction by William Ruto to the people around him, those people working for him. And trust me or not, John Mbadi is working for William Ruto, but in ODM. Yeah, even when Raila Odinga was alive, John Mbadi was a snitch, because at some point before Raila Odinga died, they had differed, and William Ruto took that chance, took in John Mbadi. So John Mbadi was in ODM as a snitch, and this thing has been revealed by many people, but we Kenyans, we don't, trust that. So from what I've given you, it is a clear indication that William Ruto does not want Odinga family in ODM, does not want Sifuna in ODM, and also does not want the low leaders in ODM. He wants to take charge, and John Mbadi does not see that as far as his pockets are full. I don't know what you think. You can always give your comment down there in the comment section. I'll look into every comment you shall write, and also I'll respond to each and every comment, and we shall have a discussion. Perhaps they can form a basis of whatever we're gonna talk about the next video. So if you're new here, consider subscribing, liking and sharing our content. Hit the notification bell so that you can be receiving notifications each and every time we bring you